This is the Star Wars I've been waiting for.
I 100% agree.
Like, I'm really enjoying it a lot.
It is the first time that I have been excited about anything Star Wars.
Yeah. Star Wars! We're talking about Star Wars! I know you've been watching it.
What is it? What have I been watching?
You've been watching The Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, spoilers for The Mandalorian, because we're just going to get into it. Spoilers for The Mandalorian. Spoilers through episode 5.
Right.
This is the Star Wars I've been waiting for. Much more than The Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Solo and even Rogue One, which I really liked. Most of the movies I enjoyed to some extent or another. But this is what I wanted from new Star Wars, is like something that was set in a familiar world but was new.
I 100% agree.
Like, I'm really enjoying it a lot.
It is the first time that I have been excited about anything Star Wars.
Yeah.
Since The Force Awakens, and I went to see that, and then...
And I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
Right.
This I've been super excited about because, like, it looks like Star Wars and it feels like it's set in a world that, like, feels familiar.
Right.
You understand the world.
Yeah, you don't have to... You didn't go into it needing to learn what this was all about.
Yeah.
You already know where you are.
Yeah, you get it right away.
Right.
You get it right away, but it's something new. I don't know these people. I don't know these situations. I don't know what the story is. All this, like, and it's not connected to any of this stuff.
Right.
We're 5 episodes in. We have yet to see a lightsaber. We have yet to see a Jedi.
It's not even talked about.
There's there's a little bit of Force usage.
Right.
But it's different than what we've seen before, just based on the whole context, right? You know.
Right.
And I love that. And I love that they're doing Star Wars in a new genre, because these are westerns. He's like the Clint Eastwood character rolling in a town. He doesn't have much to say. Right. He's the lone guy.
You don't know if he's good or bad. Somewhere in between.
He's just kind of he's like kind of in the gray. He gets the job done and then he leaves town.
Right.
And that's his whole thing. And of course the twist is that he gets this pang of conscience, this pang of guilt, or this pang of caring for this Baby Yoda character.
Right.
Yeah, so then the story just becomes of, like, this Clint Eastwood style gunslinger taking care of this baby while they're on the run, while all these other dudes hunt him down. That's great.
You don't go into it with immediately knowing, like, his mission is this. Every episode is like, I don't know what he's going to get into this time.
I thought initially there was going to be an overarching narrative, because those first 3 episodes make it seem as if there was going to be an ongoing story.
Yeah, when he first finds Baby Yoda,
yeah.
So you think this is what it's going to be.
Yeah, but especially because they are experimenting, or the remnants of the Empire are experimenting on this little baby creature for some reason, which I'm going to get into something in a minute, which I can't believe nobody's talked about before. I told my son this some weeks back while we were out to dinner, and he's like, "Oh my god, I don't know how I didn't think of that, and how come no one no one's talking about it?" So I'm gonna drop it here so at least I'll be able to stake a claim to be like,
right. You could hopefully be the first one to mention.
That's right. So I thought that was going to be the ongoing story,
right?
Because after that 3rd episode, the one where he's like, "Screw this, I'm rescuing this kid and we're getting out of town,"
right?
And I thought that, okay, the story's going to be about, like, whatever the kid's about. But then with the next 2 episodes, 4 and 5, were just these standalone, like, new guy in town. Like episode 4 was basically 7 samurai. Villagers are under attack by bandits. They get warriors. They recruit warriors
to fight for them.
To train them and fight for them. They drive off the bandits, and then
also like a bug story.
And the warriors have to go on. A bug story is actually directly
taken from
7 Samurai. Okay. Yes, I talk about this in my book, Akira Kurosawa: A Viewer's Guide, available now.
Yeah.
And it's true, though. Akira Kurosawa: A Viewer's Guide by me, available now in fine bookstores. If you're in college, it should be in your college library. Also available through Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, various other sites. You should get it. It's wonderful.
You should get it. It's actually really good.
Akira Kurosawa: A Viewer's Guide. So anyway, I actually brought up A Bug's Life in that.
Really? Because it's directly lifted from that.
And the Magnificent Seven and all that.
Right.
But then like.
So what is it?
What is what?
So what's the secret?
I'll get to that in a second.
Ah, fuck.
No, it's not a secret.
Well, not secret, but the thing you noticed, right?
And then episode 5, same sort of thing. It's just this Western story. Guy comes into town and he's like, I'm just trying to hide out. Well, there's just like bounty. You want to earn some money and help me out? Like,
yeah,
all right, I guess.
And the whole thing's where like something happens to him, he needs to like he lands on the planet to get his ship fixed, and then he has to do this job with someone kind of reluctantly. Yeah, like and that's the story.
Yeah, and then he's got to move on because like we got to get the hell out of here because I'm trying to protect this kid.
MacGuffin. That's what Baby Yoda is. Sorry, that's like a term. Like, wouldn't he be a MacGuffin?
No, not really, because a MacGuffin
is like useless, right? Completely, though.
Right? Yeah, a MacGuffin is like the plot device that everyone in the story wants.
Like the
for some reason,
like the briefcase would be
right. But the actual like specific nature of the device or the plot device doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So Baby Yoda, obviously.
And it's hard to say that we can't really say that Baby Yoda is a MacGuffin yet because it seems like Baby Yoda like the specifics of Baby Yoda matter.
And in one episode alone, he was useful.
Yeah.
So I guess that automatically
because like a typical MacGuffin will be like it's the nuclear bomb codes or it's like it's the map to the treasure or something like that. Okay. But it doesn't really matter. Like it could be anything. It could be any freaking thing. Like the MacGuffin is my Dunkin' Donuts hat.
Right.
But it's my lucky Dunkin' Donuts hat. It doesn't matter. But Baby Yoda like as a character probably it seems
is not going to be.
Yeah, probably matters. Though could turn out to be.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but
yeah.
And one of the things that I'm excited about is that in the last episode that we watched, 5, he's obviously going to, I'm assuming, at least it seems to be leading, running into the Hutts. Or Jabba, at least. Well, no, he can't run into Jabba, but the Hutts.
Yeah, Jabba's dead at that point.
So he's going to be running into the Hutts at some capacity, at least seems like, because it ends with him standing over the girl, right? That got shot?
No, that wasn't him.
Oh, that wasn't him?
We don't know who that was.
Oh, for some reason I just assumed he went back and got it.
No, that was left a mystery, so we're not sure.
Oh, because I was thinking it was him, and I'm thinking he's going to go back to the Hutts.
I saw one fan theory that said that was Boba Fett who was over him, and I hope that's not the case. I hope
they don't.
Because that would be dumb.
Yeah, I don't want him to be involved.
I did see some criticism of the last episode calling it fan service, because it was like, oh, they're back on Mos Eisley on Tatooine, and they're in the cantina where...
And the rookie dude sitting in Han Solo's seat.
Right. I just saw that, and I was like...
But I think it's playful, I think, on like Jon Favreau's part, right? When I watched it, I was like, because I'm watching it with my wife, oh, see where that dude's sitting? That's where Han Solo's at.
See,
so it's like, that's cool. Like,
I recognize that stuff, but like it never felt to me pushed in my face like, hey everyone, look at that, look, like the Solo movie, for instance, wherever that here, right? Did you see Solo?
I did.
Right,
and I saw it because we talked about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I actually watched a part of it again last night. I only saw it the one time. Last night I watched like the first half an hour of it.
Okay.
And I still my opinion still basically remains unchanged. Like, all right, fun little adventure that kind of didn't need to be made, but the guy did a better job with the Han Solo character than expected. But the thing that really gets under my skin with that is that there's so many like, what's your name, Han? What's your surname? I'm not. Or, I'm not with anyone.
Yeah, when he goes up to the
Han Solo. And throughout the whole movie, it's that. Chewbacca, what's your name? Oh, Chewbacca. Well, I'm not going to call you that. We're going to need to come up with a nickname.
Right.
Here's how I got my blaster. Here's how I got this, and here's how this, and like, oh.
It was the same. It was the same issue that I had with The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
In the beginning, how they needed to show you how he got everything in like a 2-hour. He got the hat, the whip, how he got the scar, why he was afraid of snakes. All happened in like an hour period of his life.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to do that. I don't need to know.
That fill-in-the-blanks stuff
just give me one thing.
Is obnoxious.
Yeah, just give me one. I'll take one.
Yeah. Like, even the whole Solo movie ends up being built around the Kessel Run that he mentions.
Right.
And not only is it built around the Kessel Run, but also him winning the ship from Lando. So much stuff that's on the nose. It's so on the nose and explaining all this stuff, and I don't need that. Which is a shame, because otherwise it's a fun adventure movie.
What they did wrong is, that movie should have been this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like Han as as a smuggler doing smuggler shit.
And that's what I thought when it first came out. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, it'll be Han as a smuggler. He's like going on adventures, him and Chewie, and they're running into people that don't have anything. And then when it got to what it was, I was like, like, I don't need this.
Totally didn't need an origin story.
No.
Like, to start from the beginning,
Yeah.
like, here's how... No, yeah.
Just Han being...
I agree if it was just Han and
Like-
Chewie, like, doing smuggler shit before...
Right.
Before Star
like,
Wars.
What were you doing before?
Absolutely, I agree. So my point for bringing that up was, like, right in The Mandalorian, and people talking about in Episode 5, the fan service, if it was done badly, they would have underlined that stuff. So, like, with that smuggler who Mando hooks up with, they would have been like, had the bartender said, like, oh, you know, there was another smuggler who
like
used to sit there. Like, they would have done dumb bullshit like that. And they didn't. Okay, so, want to hear the thing?
Yes, wait.
Gotta hear the thing.
This is the big Eric Mandalorian theory.
Big reveal.
Hold on.
Let's get Boba Fett back and ready for it.
Boba Fett.
Where? Alright, so check it out, right? In The Mandalorian, with Baby Yoda, we are seeing the origin of Snoke. This is the early experiments of the remnants of the Empire figuring out how to recreate an Emperor replacement. Now, the specifics, I'm not sure whether, like, he's, like, completely built, or, like, he's a clone, or if they use what they get from like, Baby Yoda's and, like, Force creatures injected into some guy to make him a Force.
Right.
But basically...
Oh, yeah, because it's in the blood.
Yeah, so basically, though, like, they're building Snoke. That's what...
You think they're building Snoke? Actually Snoke.
Snoke. Like, you know, not knowing, like, this is going to be Snoke and he's going to be the leader of the First Order. But no, they are trying to, like, with the Emperor dead, they are trying to create a new replacement for that guy. And so that's why they need Baby Yoda, is because they're doing these experiments in order to recreate this in order to create this being or creature or person or whatever you want to call him, and this is what leads to Snoke. I mean, so I'm saying that Snoke was manufactured, made by the remnants of the Empire through these experiments that were hinted at in Episode 3 of The Mandalorian. That's why they want this Baby Yoda, is because they're trying to create, like, their new Emperor. And that's what Snoke is a creation of the remnants of the Empire through those experiments. You heard it here first!
Because I never thought of
Snoke.
Why would they be testing them in the first place unless they're trying to suck the essence out of it? You know? They're trying to suck Yoda essence out to use it.
Only the Emperor can drink your essence.
That's why they wanted them alive. They would have taken them dead, though.
They would have taken them dead because they just needed to pull the shit out of them.
But then wouldn't they have pulled it all out when they had them before?
I did notice the alive dead part, because I took the initial 3 episodes and I made a custom classic style Star Wars crawl, like the opening crawl with the credits.
Did you really?
And I turned it into a movie. I took out all, like, the credits and the opening title sequences.
That's amazing.
And I edited it together with, like, classic Star Wars style wipes and all that. I'll give it to you. I won't give it to any of you guys that don't ask for it in the comments, because I'm not going to be. That's, what do you call it?
You're not gonna get in trouble.
I'm not going to get in trouble. But yeah, I turned it into like a standalone movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Those first 3 episodes, like, work well together as one story. So yeah, I did the whole thing with, like, the 20th Century Fox of dun, 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 dun.
Did you have the THX thing come up?
No! God, I should have done that. Yeah, because at the end of the episode 1, right, the robot that looks like IG-88 says, like, that the orders are to bring him, like, to kill it.
Yeah, he says the orders are to kill it.
Yeah, and that's why the Mandalorian kills the robot.
Right.
Because the orders are to kill it. But then he brings Baby Yoda back in that 3rd episode, and they're like, well, we'll start our experiments, like, we'll keep it alive. Like, they didn't just kill the baby.
Right.
They started experimenting right away. It seems like a little disconnect there. Like, you know, I guess maybe the idea is it could have been dead because it wouldn't matter.
It could have been dead because they could just suck it dry, but maybe now that they did get it alive, they could, like, suck it dry over time and keep getting more and more of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess you could look at it as a scientist being like, well, that just means more tests. Yeah. I get to do more tests on it now that it's alive.
Well, Morty, now that we got it, yeah.
When they're first discussing taking it, doesn't the scientist freak out when he says, like, it can be dead, and he's like, no, we don't.
Yes, yeah, the scientist does.
He's kind of pissed.
I do want to say, incidentally, having Werner Herzog play that role,
oh my god,
is awesome.
Yeah,
because a lot of people, I don't like. Some people don't fully know who this guy is, but he's not just a quirky older actor who's been around. Also, an amazing director. who's directed some incredible movies.
Yeah.
Like not only some amazing documentaries like Grizzly Man and The Thin Blue Line.
The trees here are in misery and the birds are in misery. I don't think they sing, they just screech in pain.
Yeah, he was great in that role. Like, he didn't know anything about Star Wars. He didn't know who Jon Favreau is, which is not...
Oh, yeah.
Because of the way he is, like, of course he doesn't.
Yeah, I think I know this story too, and it's a good one.
He was on set working with Baby Yoda. They asked him to do some extra scenes talking to Baby Yoda, and he was like, well, where is Baby Yoda? He was like, oh, we'll probably CGI him in or whatever. And he, like, flipped out.
Yeah, he was like,
told them they were literally
no.
And then they interviewed, I think Jon Favreau about it. I don't think it was Favreau. It was actually the director, whoever was directing it.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was really weird because at one point they cut and Werner was sitting off to the side at his desk with Baby Yoda, and he was just like having a conversation with it without the person doing the puppet or anything. He was just like, and he's like, so I guess he kind of had this bond with this like creature, and then when they said it would be CGI, he was like how dare you replace?
Well, and he's also right.
Yes,
like,
I 100% agree.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not down with these people who are like, oh, CGI's ruining movies and it's the worst thing and all that. No, CGI's fantastic.
Yes, if you do it the right way.
Yeah, it has allowed us to explore and show worlds in movies we could never could have imagined.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's like a tangible part of some things that is powerful, and that like a human being, like you notice it. It's you can't quantify why or how, but you can recognize. So like that Yoda, even that Baby Yoda, like even the original Yoda, even though you know damn well it's a puppet, you know it's a puppet, and you can see if you look closely, you can see the stiffness and all the rest. It's still though, it's a character, it's alive, it's real.
It's so
in a way.
much better than when they CGI'd Yoda, because there's something like there's not like this. It's not there. That's why Harryhausen's stuff, even though it looks cheesy. In a way, like if you watch Clash of the Titans, it looks cheesy, but because it's like exists, because they were models.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, and it's sort of creepy in a weird. Like those things are there. Like you feel like when the Kraken.
Well,
comes
definitely
out,
like with the monsters, the creepy factor definitely because of the way they do the stop motion.
The way they move,
the motion is like
uneasy.
It's got this otherworldly aspect to it.
But there is something about it.
Like one of the things I like that the new movies are doing and the Mandalorian is doing is that a lot of the aliens are clearly just like dudes in like really good costumes and makeup or masks and stuff like that. To me, that's still most of the time way cooler than like a full CGI character. Now, and there's nothing wrong with full CGI characters. There's some really great ones. Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movie was amazing. The Maz character from The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
Cool character.
Right.
Looked good. Looked like with some roles you need to do it that way. Put some people in rubber, man, and just like let it go. Especially because this is Star Wars. It's like it's
supposed to be people in masks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it's supposed to be. When you try to fancy it up, it doesn't work.
But like I will say, especially like in the second one, for instance. Like all those clone troopers, like there's this big battle in the end.
Yeah.
They're on like the sandy planet. None of that was like real. Like all the clone troopers, none of them actually were people in costumes. But they weren't there. They're not like.
Yeah.
Just put people in costumes. That's
all.
Why
not?
Just
see.
There's no reason not. Yeah, exactly. Why not? Like.
I know. I think because especially when those were made, when the prequels were made, because they could finally do it. And George Lucas has always had he always think about the movies he made in the beginning. Like he wanted everything to look, or he wanted those things to exist.
Oh yeah, and he was.
And at the time when he's making them, he probably thought to himself, if we didn't have to use models, I wish we had something to make these. And
all credit to him, like doing some of that stuff pioneered techniques that later were used to better effect.
But it's just that because it was there, like I feel like his brain was like, we could do all of this stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of like unnecessary reasons to use it. But which a lot of people don't realize, and just like as a quick defense of the effects in the prequels, one of those prequel movies alone used more models and miniatures and stuff than the entire original trilogy combined.
Right.
Combined. Like they used a lot of that stuff, but they just also used a lot of everything else. Yeah, and it's like just because you can do it this way,
right?
You know what? It's better to figure out a way to do it like like in a more tangible, natural way.
Right. So
Yeah.
my question is, when it comes to Baby Yoda, do you have any theories on the creature? Because Yoda has never been defined in any book at what Yoda is, creature-wise.
We know very little about like that species.
Right.
And the only canon that we know of is that there is at least one other of his species that was also Force sensitive and a Jedi. Yaddle, I think the name is.
Okay.
Who is, you see her in the prequels. But that's basically, like, as far as canon is concerned, basically all we know. And even in like the extended stuff that is no longer canon, there's not a lot at all.
Okay, so then...
So we don't know basically anything.
Okay, so you can assume...
I assume that the whole species is like super Force sensitive.
Right, that's what I was going to say. You can assume that, and you can assume that there's more. But for some reason, unless they're like Buddha, where there's only a certain, like, there's only one at a time.
Oh, I like that idea.
That kind of thing.
Oh, I like that idea a lot. No, but that wouldn't work, though. Because
there was more than one. But maybe there's only like two.
Because they... Well, and also because they said, like, when he got the baby, he was 50 years old at that point.
Right.
And Yoda died at the beginning of Jedi. Right. And this takes place roughly 5 years after that.
It's only 5?
Yeah, it's just a few years after the end of Return of the Jedi.
Do they count maybe it's in an egg for 45 years? So it's really 45 years.
Oh, I like that idea. Because, there are some people who are like, look, even in a long-lived species, 50 years is too long to be in the infant stage, and so it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, no, my whole thing was like, it's aliens. Like, it could be whatever the hell they say. I don't know.
They're more like a seed. How can you make any assumption that anything is... Nobody can say, like, no, that can't happen in this fictitious world.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, look, maybe these freaking Baby Yodas are like that for 50 years, and like when they're 100, they're teenagers.
Yeah, like you can't even say that in our actual life reality. You can't say that there's not an egg on another planet that takes 1,000 years to hatch. How would you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So how could it not exist in a fictitious world? That's stupid. Whoever says that is wrong.
All of them. Yeah, so this is like clearly a species is like super Force species.
I'm still gonna go with I think there's probably only a certain amount allowed.
Like in the Force, the Force keeps balance with it.
Yeah, like Yoda dies. Like, so this one and maybe there's some other one, but that's it.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I like that because otherwise, why wouldn't they just go to the home planet?
Yeah, just
start scooping them up.
Yeah, if it's that simple.
Yeah.
I think that Yoda, when one of them die, an egg falls out of them. Like Gremlin style. Like it pops out of the back, right. And then it just sits there, and if somebody doesn't eat it or whatever, it just like hatches over 50 years.
I don't like that part, but I do like the idea of like
small number.
The small numbers and like this Force somehow keeping like balance with that species in that way.
You can't have too many with that kind of.
Yeah, I like that. Power. So we combine that with like my Snoke theory.
Yeah.
And I think we've figured out. We've solved Star Wars.
We don't even have to watch.
We have solved Star Wars. So did we accomplish our mission then with this episode?
I guess so.
Yeah, we basically figured out Star Wars. I've been Eric.
And I was Tig.
Thank you for talking Star Wars with us.
Leave some comments and subscribe and like and do other things. Play with a bell or something.
And also, incidentally, don't take my Snoke theory and start spreading it around as your own.
Yeah,
because you'd be a douchebag if you did it. If you see someone else...
If we find that shit on Reddit after this is...
Oh, I'll be so pissed off.
Check us out on Patreon, Nerd Out With Me. On Patreon, too, if you want some extra bonus stuff. And we make extra videos and... talk and chat and stuff and help support our attic food.
We do all sorts of great stuff. All right. Good night.